Hi, my name is Nathan Camarillo. I'm the executive producer on Crysis 2. We're here at GDC 2011 at the Crytek booth, showing off awesome gameplay for Crysis 2 as well as our great technology, CryEngine 3. Our most important goal for the project of Crysis 2 was to take Crysis 2 and make it run on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, and on the PC scale with the available hardware that you have. So in order to do that, we had to create all new technology called CryEngine 3. We took CryEngine 2, which we used to make the original Crysis, ripped the guts out of it from the very beginning, and re-architected all of that to run on all consoles and run efficiently and provide you with great visuals and a great gameplay experience. But then on PC, the more hardware you have available, also scale the quality of the visuals so that if you have the highest end PC on the market, you're going to get an absolutely mind-blowing experience. One of the most important aspects of CryEngine 3 for the development of Crysis 2 is the fact that we have really great tools like the sandbox that allow us to just jump in and instantaneously see the results of changes that we want to make in our levels. So you can jump in, we call this what you see is what you can play. What you see is what you play. You can take and rework an area of the level, move stuff around, re-script it, then you just quick button press, you jump right back into the game and you can play it from there. And you can see the validity of the idea. How good is it? Is it fun? Does it need more work? Is that worth pursuing? Is that worth trying? And the faster you can iterate, the more you can learn. Whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, iteration is the key to making a great game. And the faster you can iterate, the better quality game that you can make without a huge barrier of time. And if you have an engine, for an example, where it takes you 17 minutes to see your result between saving the level, exporting it, moving it over, testing it out, playing it, at some point you go, I don't want to touch this anymore. But with us, it's so fast. We can just try ideas and innovate constantly and rework entire areas just because we feel like it, because that's in the end what's going to be the best idea for the game. So that's one of the most powerful aspects of CryEngine 3 is just how quickly we can iterate. Crysis 2 takes place in the year 2023. This is 3 years after the original Crysis. And Crysis 2 takes place in this awesome location, which is New York City. And there's an alien invasion. The alien invasion is continuing. So you're in New York City, you're fighting aliens, and if you didn't play the original Crysis, that's okay. This is a clean jumping in point. You play as a new character, but there is a lot of backstory that's delivered during the course of Crysis 2 that explains some of the events of Crysis 1. So if you played Crysis 1 and you want to know more about why was the squad there, what happened on the island, some of this will be revealed to you in Crysis 2. But if you're new to the Crysis universe and the IP, you'll feel like there's this really great, enriching backstory behind everything that led up to Crysis 2, and it might even inspire you to go back and play Crysis 1. The signature feature for Crysis 2 is the nanosuit. It's a total game changer. And not only does it let you get to combat faster through super sprint, moving really fast, power jumping, ledge grabbing, and sliding, it gets you to combat faster than other games. Once you're there or near combat, you can instantaneously react to the gameplay situation that's playing out in front of you by throwing on powers of armor, which allow you to survive a hail of gunfire or explosions going off near you, or turn on cloak and go completely invisible, sneak away, and then re-engage the combat space. And whether you're playing single player or multiplayer, this is a completely new experience for a lot of people. It gets you to combat faster. When you're there, so you can be fast. Then when you're in combat, you can choose whether you want to be strong or that you want to be invisible. And it just constantly changes in the kind of choreographed sandbox gameplay that we have. The AI adapts to your tactics and pushes back on you. If you cloak and go invisible and move around one side of that big open play space, from the other, they have to be smart enough to find you and move to where you are when you're at the new location. The game reacts and responds to the way that you're playing. And what happens, the great thing about Crysis 2 with the nanosuit, is people adopt styles of play. So if you want to play, like the Predator from the movie and using nanovision and going invisible and jumping on things and pouncing on enemies and grabbing them and throwing them across the map, you can play that way. If you want to play like an action hero and jump in and throw on armor and shoot 3 guys at the same time and walk up to a heavy machine gun and rip it off of the mounts and then mow down 2 or 3 guys with that and then kick a taxi cab into a bunch of people, you can do that as well. If you want to play like an assassin and silently move as close to enemies as possible and do stealth kills on all of them, you can do that. If you want to play like a hitman or an assassin and stay really far around the outside and be invisible and take one guy out at a time, displace and move and set traps, you can play that way as well. And you can do it on any map and any mission. The game allows you to do this. We give you a lot of awesome tools, a lot of awesome weaponry, and you play the way that you want to play. We don't tell you how to play. You invent play style, you invent the way that you want to engage the situation, and then you react to the way that it plays out. And so the same thing happens in multiplayer. Multiplayer, you know, you adopt a play style, and it's not just another game where you've got a gun, you kill another guy with a gun, you get some experience points, you unlock a new weapon. That's my favorite, and I play with that for 5 hours. It's not like that. It's people constantly improvising and using different techniques against each other, and then countering those techniques and coming up and equipping different modules to change their style of gameplay or help them find cloaked players or whatever. I mean, it's constantly a dynamic play space that it takes a little bit of learning curve, but once you get into it, you can appreciate it like no other FPS. Crysis 2 comes out March 22nd in North America, March 25th in Europe on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC.